Prince Handley coming to you with 100,000 watts of pure healing, miracle-working love. I want to continue today with our series, There's More Than Artificial Intelligence. This will be part 3, Robotics. And as usual, I want to give you a little current news from today concerning robotics and AI. I want to read to you some news accounts. Number 1, virtual agents can automate dialogue with users in natural languages and understand and resolve complex user queries by applying deep learning, such as the ability to automate judgment on images. Number 2, future robots need no motors, powered by visible light and other stimuli, may replace traditional bulky motors and pneumatic actuators with ones similar to mammalian skeletal muscles. Number 3, aerial robot that can morph in flight. Engineers have designed a robotic glider that can skim along the water surface, riding the wind like an albatross while also surfing the waves like a sailboat. Number 4, cometh the cyborg, improved integration of living muscles into robots. And then number 5, very interesting. Remember when I told you about just a second ago about pneumatic actuators in robots similar to mammalian skeletal muscles? This one is from one of the 11 colleges and universities that I attended, where I first got my BSIE degree at Kettering University, used to be GMI. Listen to what it says. I just got it in my email today. Kettering University's first robotics team, 1506 Metal Muscle, the only first team associated with the university, is one of the only 10 teams in the country, that's the United States, invited to attend the Zhejiang Robotics International in Hangzhou, China, July 27th to 30th, 2018. Very interesting. As I said, I got that in my email today as an alumnus of Kettering. First robotics team associated with the university, and only one of 10 teams in the country invited to the Robotics International in China. Well, remember in our last session, part 2 of this series, we discussed genetics, genetic engineering, and how human enhancement by way of germline engineering involves making improvements in reproductive cells. We also covered cognitive systems and their part in brain-machine interfacing. By the way, we'll discuss this in a separate later session. And we stated that these changes will be passed on to subsequent generations. Well, let me give you now an intro to this session, Part 3, Robotics. If you survived after Parts 1 and 2, I have another challenge for you. Let's see if you're up to it. The ideal AI robot would be a replication of the human thought process, a man-made robot with human intellectual abilities. This would include the ability to learn just about anything, the ability to reason, the ability to use language, and the ability to formulate original ideas. So I'm going to talk to you about how robots gather facts, compare information, and predict the most successful actions, with caveats, of course. The prime goal at this point is how humans learn, think, plan, and implement. Plus, if robots can simulate emotion, they can save memory and processing time. A number of robotics experts predict that robotic evolution will ultimately turn us into cyborgs, humans integrated with machines. In this podcast, again, I'm going to discuss with you how this can be accomplished. You're also going to learn about true life, actually living now, human cyborgs. I'm talking about people that are human cyborgs. By the way, did you know that the population of robots is outnumbering human population growth by 15 times a year? And that surgical robots are in great demand because they're more skilled than humans. Then we're going to discuss some ethical questions. By the way, we asked some questions in Part 1 and Part 2 concerning valid bioethics and moral questions. Now let's think about robots from a human perspective. That is, some things that you and I would like to know. Number 1. When singularity, by the way, we'll discuss singularity in a later session. When singularity is reached by means of artificial intelligence and robots become smarter than ordinary humans, what will happen? Number 2, if robots become dominant in numbers, influence, or power, what happens to the normal people? That's humans like you and me. And number 3, since robots are taking over many of our jobs, Could we someday be mere slaves or servants to superior robots? Like, could humans, that's you and me, become an inferior breed? Number 4, can robots or will robots serve the Antichrist, the beast, or monitor us for the false prophet? By the way, you want to read in the book of Revelation for the purpose of what we're studying in this series, chapters 11 through 13. By the way, there's 3 beasts. There's the beast out of the pit, that's Satan. There's the beast out of the sea, that's the Antichrist. And then there's a beast out of the land, that's the false prophet, who's the religious head for the world governance. And he's selected, by the way, by the leader of the global governance, who is the beast, the Antichrist. If you followed many of my teachings, you know that there are several likely scenarios for how the image of the beast, the Antichrist, the false Messiah, will appear in public. If you read my book, Map of the End Times, and there's a link for that book in the show notes of the podcast, you will know that the image of the beast could quite possibly be a holographic image, a robot with artificial intelligence, an android that's a living AI of the beast, or a virtual reality avatar, or an augmented reality avatar with AI of the beast. Well, hang on, we've got some interesting things to learn in this part 3. This part 3, robotics, is going to enlighten you greatly. Robots are already used in security, medicine, industry, and military, now starting to be used in personal areas of service. Robotics is a combination of branches of mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, and computer science that deals with the design, construction, operation, and application of robots, as well as computer systems for their control, sensory feedback, and information processing. These technologies deal with automated machines that can take the place of humans in dangerous environments or manufacturing processes, or resemble humans in appearance, behavior, and or cognition. And check this out, many of today's robots are inspired by nature, contributing to the field of bio-inspired robotics. The ideal AI robot would be a replication of the human thought process, a man-made robot with human intellectual abilities, and this would include the ability to learn just about anything, the ability to reason, the ability to use language, and the ability to formulate original ideas. The AI robot gathers facts about a situation through sensors or human input. The computer compares this information to stored data and decides what the information signifies. The computer runs through various possible actions and predicts which action will be most successful based on the collected information. However, the robot can only solve problems it is programmed to solve. It has no, at this juncture anyway, innate analytical ability. Robots are confused when uncertainty arises. The inability to generalize or adapt with changing conditions is a big problem. The prime goal at this point is how humans learn, think, plan, and implement. As I said earlier, if robots can simulate emotion, they can save memory and processing time. Marvin Minsky shows how that emotion could be used to build better robots and artificial intelligence in his 2 books, The Society of Mind and The Emotion Machine. A number of robotics experts predict that robotic evolution will ultimately turn us into cyborgs, humans integrated with machines. Conceivably, people in the future could load their minds into a sturdy robot and live for thousands of years. Futurist Ian Pearson says, the robot is really just a front end for some smartness to exist somewhere, like the cloud on the network. Now, this should shake you up, my friend. As I mentioned a few minutes ago, there are human cyborgs today. Today, there are many people who have voluntarily become cyborgs. As far as I know, there are 7 real-life human cyborgs at this time. There may be more. There's another scenario, however, that's more scientifically and scripturally feasible, and that involves actual present-day cyborgs. I'm talking about human brain-machine interface. I'm going to cover this in a later section of this series, but basically it involves connectivity of the human brain with external software or information. Instead of robots receiving intel from humans, the converse is affected. The human brain receives input from external, connected information. This is real, absolutely credible, and opens up myriads of spiritual, moral, and ethical dementia. The human population worldwide is growing at a rate of 2% a year, while the robot population worldwide is growing at a rate of 30% a year. That's why I mentioned several minutes ago, 15 times the growth of humans. Ian Pearson predicts that the robot population will be higher than humans in developed countries by 2025. So move over and make some room, my friend. March 27, 2015, there was an announcement on major news media that surgical robots were now being used in certain critical operations because they were more accurate than human surgeons. I can say amen to that because one almost killed my mother. They thought it was a moving cancer in her and gave her 2 weeks to live, and finally found out that a surgeon had left a sponge in her. And then he blamed it on the nurse, and then they found out the surgeon was drunk while he did the surgery. Well, following are listed some of the benefits of surgical robots. Robotic surgical methods have certain advantage over traditional open surgical methods, including the following: enhanced dexterity for minute procedures, expanded range of motion, improved three-dimensional imaging of the surgical site, stabilization, which removes any instability inherent in human hands, virtual training capacity, less pain and trauma to the patient, shorter recovery times with fewer complications, and robots also have the potential of improving quantity, quality, and quintessential efficiency, especially when combined with artificial intelligence, in the following ways: productivity in the marketplace, enhanced human-brain-machine interfacing, controlling satellite robotics, which thinks, purchase, and sells with programmed marketing. Optimum creativity made possible by interfacing of supply-demand chains with decision-making. Reverse engineering with cyber-brain decisions and implementation based on optimal pathways. And stronger, healthy, more adaptive, and self-healing superhumans. I'm going to give you that one again. Let you think about that. Stronger, healthier, more adaptive, and self-healing superhumans. Well, later in this series, we're going to discuss the mystery matrix. However, at this juncture, it will be advantageous to discuss just how robotics can and may be used to serve the new global governance. Here are some ways in which robotics may serve the evil empire. The evil empire, that's ruled by Satan. And in the end times, the empire of the new global governance leader, with the answer of peace to the world, the Antichrist, the beast, the false Messiah. Here's some ways in which robotics may serve the evil empire. Number 1, image of the beast. Number 2, monitoring public places and individual houses and businesses. Robots would be assigned to specific addresses with legal warrants. That would probably be for you and me, my friend. Number 3, security. Not your security, not my security, but the global governance security. Number 4, a housing shell for the AI of the Antichrist demonic system to carry out orders. For example, robots may be used to perform orders programmed into them. Well, my friend, I hope you're still sane. I hope you haven't regurgitated all over the place. I hope you're still semi-conscious, because I want you to hang on, because once again, we're going to delve into a different topic in the next section. In Session 4, we're going to cover information technology. And again, I hate to repeat it, but you ain't seen nothing yet. And this has been your friend, the Prince of Podcasting, Prince Handley, coming to you once again with the blessings of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Avraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov, and the healing, health, power, prosperity, and success of the Mashiach Yeshua, Messiah Jesus, the Son of God. Go with the God of Israel, my friend, and you'll always win. Baruch haba b'Shem Adonai.